have two special guests with us who are married and on a mission to bring representation for queer South Asian women. Angit here is a queer Punjabi Sikh woman who is working on providing queer representation of CORES. Angit is also a physiotherapist working within Fraser Health. Joshna, here with us as well, identifies as a queer Gujarati woman. By profession, she works as an occupational therapist in the UK and now works as a care manager here in Canada. Angit and her beautiful wife got married in 2020 amongst their close friends and family. Angit and her wife, Joshna, have recently been sharing their amazing love story on their Instagram handle, Sukarsu. They hope that by sharing their story, it will provide the much needed and valued representation and hope for QT BIPOC folks. So without further ado, welcome Angit and Joshna.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for the lovely introduction as well.
Of course. As you know, we're live, back in action.
Yes. Back in action, in person.
Yeah.
So exciting. You guys are our fourth guest in person,
Wow.
actually.
Yeah.
You guys are doing great. An amazing job.
We feel honored. Thank you.
We feel honored.
Yes.
So we're so excited. We're live. Here we are on a Saturday morning, and we're just so grateful that we have Angit and Joshna, who we got to meet at Sher Vancouver. So shout out to Sher Van. We're blessed to be part of that organization.
Whoop whoop.
Woo.
Yeah.
But yeah, meeting both of you, Neri and I, were like, wow, it's so exciting to see two beautiful queer women happily married, in love, and I think that was like so eye-opening for me. I'm sure Neri can attest to that too.
Yeah, it just, it just felt, I guess there's some sort of comfort in that and like hope, giving us a bit of hope too, right? So we're so grateful to have met you guys.
Well, yeah, I mean, we, with Sher Vancouver, I've known about it since I moved here in 2018, but you guys have made it what it is today, so thank you guys. Thanks to both of you. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but again, like we said, we really wanted to have both of you on our podcast today, again, to share your story. Like, I know you've been sharing it on the Sukarsu handle, but I think folks will really benefit from seeing both of you here today and also hearing your story, because it's so different from reading online, seeing pictures to like hearing your voices. So before we jump right into your love story, we also want to know both of you as individuals.
Sure. Yes.
Okay.
Who you are, what you're about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's start with you, Angit.
Cool. So my name's Angit, like Sharon said. My pronouns are she and they. I was born and raised in London, West London in England. I'm first generation Punjabi Sikh. My parents are from Punjab, immigrated to London in the 70s. I am a physiotherapist by profession. I've got two siblings. I started my queer journey, I guess, from the age of 18. I came out to myself, and then since then I've been kind of coming out to different people in my life, and I'm in this position now with this one, with Joshna. I moved to Canada 2018, 4 years ago now, and I think it was more to explore my sexuality, to get away from the parents, because that can be quite hard as a brown Punjabi woman to leave the house without the excuse of getting married, I guess. So that was a nice kind of exploration adventure for me. And I've been working here as a physiotherapist with Fraser Health since then. So that's a bit about me. I'm in my 30s, just to throw that out there.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you for sharing.
And I'm Joshna, and my pronouns are she and her. I think some of you've introduced me already very nicely, so thank you very much for that. I was born in Nairobi, Kenya, and I was brought up in Kenya as well until the age of 17, and then moved to the UK. After the UK, moved here only about a year and a half ago, so I haven't been in Canada that long at all. But I moved for love. After Angit moved, I moved here. And a bit more about myself. I follow vegan lifestyle, which is really important to me, and just about the animals and environment, any injustices to anyone. But I also enjoy dancing. Actually, I love dancing, in fact. And the forms of dance I particularly enjoy are Garba, Bollywood, belly dancing, Afrobeats. I think if you put the music on now, I think the music will move me.
Nice.
Nice.
So just a little bit about myself.
Thank you. Really cool. And I think welcome to Van as well. Like, I think that's a big move, Angit, you were saying, like for brown women to leave the house.
Yeah,
For sure.
definitely. It was a big decision that I made, but my parents were totally supportive. I think it was hard for them to let go and, you know, see their daughter moving so far away, but I kind of planted the seed a few years before I actually moved, so that was kind of a good thing I did. It took me, I planted the seed about 2 years before I actually moved, so it gave them 2 years to get used to that feeling that I'm not going to be there for, you know, full time. So that was good. Yeah,
It's very courageous of you to like leave and you know what I mean. Like, so, but good for you. This is where you're at now, and
thank you. Yeah,
we're also very grateful you're here.
Thank you.
Yeah, like, so let's get into how you guys met. Like, what's your story? We want to hear all about it.
So we met at work actually. So like I said before, I'm a physiotherapist, and we were both working at the same hospital together. I was a junior physio, and Joshna was a supervisor, occupational therapist. I just want to throw that in.
Not Angit supervisor.
Okay.
Sorry,
In
no,
the
you
same
know,
office.
you weren't my supervisor. That would be appalling.
Yep.
But we were working together. Sorry, my accent's coming in. I'm not Canadian. I'm just. I need to keep my British accent, don't I? So we were working at the same hospital for about 6 months, and then I went to India for 6 weeks, a bit of a break, and then I came back, and then we were just catching up about my trip. And then in that time, I think we had become Facebook friends, and I was kind of, you know, spying on her Facebook a little bit. As you do, right?
Creeping,
and then I was like, creeping, I'm a creep. And I saw that Joshna had belly danced for a gay Mendi night, and I was like, ooh.
Does this mean?
What does this mean?
What does this
Some
mean?
like queer connection. So we had lunch together. I think I brought up the topic there, and then we kind of realized that we're both queer at that time. And I think since then, like the week after we had lunch together, we kept bumping into each other in the hallway, and we were like, oh, we got to stop doing this. We keep bumping into each other. It was so funny. It was a bit like a movie. It was filmy, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. We'd been working together for, you know, many months before then, but nothing had ever happened. We just maybe said hi because, you know, it's someone else who works there, but nothing had happened. So I think it just, for me, it highlighted how things can take you by surprise completely. You know, the attraction, just, there was a spark that happened, and just didn't know how it happened or why, or, you know. I know.
So then, and then we we were working a weekend together, and then we went to a local place that sell like samosa chaat or something like that. So we had a samosa chaat in the car, and it was raining and windows were steaming, but we were in the Mandir car park, so we didn't do anything. It's a Mandir, right?
Good job.
Yeah. So we were having samosa chaat in the car, and then like our like hands touched, and we just like, oh, like, you know, oh.
I think that's the point we remember where the attraction was definitely there. Before it was unspoken, there was chemistry, but no one had actually made a move or said anything. But that was the time, you know, so we always remember that it was over that samosa chaat.
I think I bought a little cushion saying it all started with a samosa chaat in the
Oh my
car.
God.
And so it's on our sofa at home. Just
For
a
our
reminder.
first wedding anniversary, she gave me that.
Yeah,
That's
kind of a
super cute.
reminder of how it started.
Yes.
Also, super cheesy for everyone listening. This is going to be a super cheesy episode, so we
lots
love
of
it.
cheese.
Love it, yeah. Where's that poutine at?
Sorry about that.
Sorry in advance, yeah. No, that's amazing. And also, creeping works is what I'm hearing. So I need to get my creep skills working.
On point.
is
I
what
can
I'm
help you
hearing.
out. So
We
it's
can
all
all
good.
help you out.
Yeah.
with that. Nowadays, it's too easy, you know?
I guess. But that's an amazing story. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah. And I think, like, just knowing, because sometimes with women, as we all can speak, it's so hard to know. So, like, how did you know other than the creeping? Because sometimes you're like, are you not? But then you could just tell the vibe that I'm assuming when you kept seeing each other in the hallways, you kind of obviously can tell, right? Maybe the way someone was looking at you, the way Angit was looking at you, or like,
Sorry, she made the first move?
oh, that was my next question.
Yeah.
Who made the first move?
She
here?
made the first move.
Kind of. Well, she thinks I did, but
Sorry, what did you do? You were like all over my shoulder one day.
Hey,
had to
that's
keep
props.
it professional. You know, when you ask them, you might just lean your hand on their shoulder, just naturally, you know.
Yeah.
naturally. But I think during that lunchtime, I think I might have mentioned that I was queer or
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, and then I think
And she knew because of, kind of knew because of that Mehndi night I'd danced at.
but you weren't that open with the information at first.
No.
I had to get it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think it was more like just we weren't really expecting to find somebody or meet somebody at that point. It just kind of happened, and it was kind of natural. The attraction was there, and it was just really it just flowed really nicely. The conversation flowed, and we started like singing Hindi songs, and she would start it, I would finish it.
Wow.
Some
Bollywood.
Hindi songs I didn't
Bollywood.
know. So I
You're
had
like
to,
Googling?
I had to Google it.
Just,
She,
just
like,
to impress me,
yeah, I thought, I got to complete it because she
was
she
waiting.
might
Oh
be
my
really into Hindi songs. I've got to know this one.
kind of. Yeah.
What was that? The song? Samne, yeah.
Oh yeah.
मेरे सामने वाली खिड़की में
एक चांद सा टुकड़ा रहता है, but
So, yeah.
रहती है.
रहती है, yeah.
Which is,
Love it.
really old songs or new songs or some English songs, but
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think with us, because I love music, she likes dancing. Like I love playing my guitar, my tabla, my vajra harmonium. So
Yeah.
I think that really connected us as well in a way.
Although
Wow.
actually at the point where she realized our age difference, she did think about setting me up with one of her friends, though.
I did.
I'm so glad she didn't, though, now.
So after that lunchtime, yeah, I had another queer friend who was a bit older and, matched Joshna's age, but I shouldn't say that now. But I thought, oh, she'd be perfect for Joshna. Let me set them up. And then Joshna was like, no, thank you. I'm not interested. I'm not.
Were you low key like yes, or were you still like not there?
No, I wasn't there. When she said,
Takes
oh,
time.
I'm not ready. I'm not looking for a relationship. I was like, okay, then. And then, yeah,
Yeah.
things still happened. Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
But on that note, now we know there's different age gaps, different cultural backgrounds, different religions when you two met. How has that journey been like within for both of you? I know you were saying, I was thinking about the age difference at first, but how did you both overcome the different age, religion, and cultural backgrounds? And also, how has your parents accepted that? Because I know with Punjabi culture, I can speak on that, being Punjabi, it's very like marry within Punjabi culture and like they should be the same caste, like oh Jat and Jat, like you know what I mean, like there's so many barriers within our own cultures, like how was that navigating all of those hurdles?
I think like between us, it wasn't an issue at all. I don't we haven't noticed the age gap just between us two, but when we are in the world, then yeah, it's a different story.
Yeah.
But between us two, I haven't really felt the age gap. The religion, no, because Joshna's so kind of open. I'm so open. Joshna enjoys doing like meditation, vipassana, which is like a Buddhist kind of practice, and she supports me. She'll come to the Gurdwara with me sometimes, and I'll practice my kirtan, my vajra at home, and she'll be listening too. So it's been really nice.
And I'd learned about Sikhi, in primary school. We learned about it, so I knew quite a lot about it anyway, and so that wasn't an issue at all. And so that even culturally, we're both Indian.
Yeah.
She enjoyed coming to the Garba, Navratri festivals, and I went to the Vaisakhi, melas and all that. So yeah, that's worked out well.
Yeah. And then when it comes to like parents, I think our age and religion was the least of the worries,
Yeah.
Right.
Two women are getting married. That's
Yeah.
the biggest thing,
That
right?
is
Like
That's the biggest elephant in the room, I guess. Right?
that's it, yeah. And when Mum found out about her age, there's an odd like facial expression, like a comment, but otherwise really accepting and
I mean, I've seen a huge kind of growth in my mum-in-law and mum, as I call her, from when she first met me to now.
Yeah.
Because she was becoming comfortable with her own feelings, her thoughts. I can understand from her perspective, so maybe she didn't know what to say. So it was awkward initially, I have to admit, but I pushed through. I thought, no, this is what I want, and I'll just be myself.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll accept me, and, they have wholly. So I'm really happy about that.
That's amazing. Yeah. I mean, I think that's something that even like myself I'm still navigating that of just being my authentic self with people, and being able to be open. And biggest one for me is definitely parents, of acceptance, the fear instilled, the shame. So yes, it's a work in progress for myself, but that's amazing that you guys were able to navigate that. And it seems like it was not so much so smooth, but parents they eventually come around, you know. So,
They do, yeah.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, in my early 20s, I remember getting rishtas and like, oh, this, we found a rishta for you and this. And I was like, no, like in my head, I just knew I couldn't do that, couldn't go through with it because that would just be so wrong. And, you know, eventually when mum found out, I came out to mum and she was just like, oh, I had a feeling. And, you know.
She kind of knew.
Yeah, she kind of knew. But she, you know, she embraced me. She said, you know, it's the way God's made you. It's not your fault.
Wow,
So
that's so comforting to hear as well for parents to say that.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Mum's been really supportive since I've come out. She knows that, you know, it would be the worst. It would have been the worst thing for me to marry a guy and go ahead with that, and it wouldn't have been right. So mum really supports like my lifestyle and understands like, yeah, I'm not kind of like her other kids, and that's fine. So
She has since said that, you know, it's good you didn't get married to a man because you would be ruining not only your life but their life as well. So she really now acknowledges that. So even when people have, you know, marriages of convenience, she now really understands that actually, why are you ruining each other's lives? You know, just be who you are. So that's been really kind of eye-opening and really amazing for me.
Yeah.
From my side, so my dad passed away when I was quite young, but my mom is Orthodox Hindu, so she doesn't fully understand it, and she, I think, has kind of found her own way of accepting us, and I'm happy with that. I think I don't need to push too much at the stage she's at in her life and with her beliefs, and she talks to both of us. She loves Angit, so I'm happy with that.
she calls me your Ben Bunny,
which is friend.
In Gujarati. She's like, how's your Ben Bunny? I'm like,
So we're there.
It's okay.
That's nice to know between both of your moms, right? Like family reactions is so different. And like also with like, we want to share like true stories too. Like we hope that it will be like Angit's mom's reaction or like Jag's mom's reaction or Alex's mom reaction of full acceptance, but we also recognize that that's not the reality.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Hence
not
why
everybody's-
we're doing this.
Of course, yeah. We want to bring these stories to the forefront so people can hear the reality of it. And I think when other folks hear this, and even like us hearing it, right? But previously to this, with you guys us having just general conversation, it's like I said, like it's comfort as well, right? Because like that's just the realness. Like great, like Sharon saying, you know, Angit, your mom was really accepting, and your mom is also still probably try and wrap her head around it. And that's okay, because it's going to take everybody their own time to do that. You know, I'm so fearful of what the heck my parents are going to say. All my friends are like, they're going to be totally fine. Like, just say it. And I'm like, maybe next year.
yeah,
you know,
it's just that fear of not knowing, right?
100%. Yeah.
Just
And
like,
I'm
what-
sure they will be. But,
But I
there's
feel like
just-
we build up these scenarios in our head so much.
100%.
We build up 100 scenarios and we have no idea what's going to happen.
Yep.
Can't
No
guarantee it. Like, when I came out to my mom, she was really understanding, accepting, and then like for about 6 months a year, she's in a bit of denial, like sometimes making comments like, "Oh, I'm gonna still get you married to a nice Sardar and a nice Sikh man," and these kind of things. So it just took some time, and you know, it was being in an uncomfortable position that helped. That you have to be ready to be uncomfortable. Like for me, I felt like I'm gonna be in places where I don't feel right with my parents, but you have to kind of go through the waves of that and come out the other side. So yeah.
Totally. Well, let's also talk about your guys' amazing wedding ceremony. And also just want to kind of also understand like why you guys felt marriage was important to you. So if you guys are wanting to and willing to share, we'd love to hear that as well.
I think with the whole the idea of marriage, it just felt right. So it wasn't something that we consciously thought about. Should we get married? Is it the right thing for us? Whereas in the past, I have been in a hetero marriage before, but since then, you know, with different relationships, the topic came up and it just didn't feel right. Whereas this time it didn't come up, but it just felt right. So, and I think also because it's possible for two women to be married in the UK and you know a few other countries. So that in itself, we were quite, we felt privileged and honored that people have made that possible for two women to be married.
Yeah.
So yeah, it maybe, you know, we had a civil wedding ceremony and a traditional Hindu ceremony, but not with people around. So it's a small ceremony called a Gandharva marriage.
Okay.
Where you make vows to each other with nature as your witness. So we, you know, made garlands at home, which was really fun, by the way.
Nice.
And yeah, just wrote our vows, and we were by a lake,
In
forest
BC.
in BC.
Yeah, it was just you two, right? No one's
It was just
officiating
us
or
two and a photographer.
and a
Yeah.
photographer.
And then we just shared our vows and we exchanged rose garlands. We were actually at Sasamat Lake. Yeah,
nice.
yeah, in Port Moody, yeah. So
It was really
kept it
nice.
local.
yeah.
Yeah.
The photographer was very discreet, and she was, really nice actually. Yeah.
I think that, I think because doing another garage at that time, we hadn't done enough research. We hadn't gone through the process of finding out yet. So we wanted a religious wedding, and I didn't know about it, but I think you
Yeah,
found out.
there are different types of Hindu wedding ceremonies. So that was one that we could realistically do, and it meant something. In terms of the vows were so. We were both in tears, when we were reading our vows in that moment.
Yeah.
Even though it was just the two of us, I just got so emotional, and it was really special. As was the civil wedding ceremony. Where,
So we did that wedding. We exchanged vows. 2020 January, and then we had our registry with our friends and family 2020 February, a week before COVID hit. So
literally.
we were
Wow.
very lucky. Yeah. Even when I told my mum about, I want to get married to Joshna, she was like, "Why do you have to get married? Just live together. Don't make it a big thing, basically." So, I had to kind of talk through mum that as well, like why I wanted to get married and why it was important. And
you wanted the whole Indian ceremony, the events. I remember chatting before.
yeah, so we had a Mendi night. We had a joint Mendi Sangeet night. So we did the traditional Punjabi things like rangoli on the floor, and then Mendi, and then the haldi, and then we did a bit of a jago, and then
some of my friends and I did a dance as well. So we kind of enacted the story of how we met.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So my sister-in-law had, tied a turban on her head, and just
yeah.
So it was a bit of fun. But we'd done a medley of Bhangra songs, Bollywood, Garba. So we did little dance performance. So that was fun.
It's a fusion of Punjabi, Gujarati outfits, food, everything.
Yeah.
So it was nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You guys are the cutest people.
Also, we want a wedding video to watch it.
We can
We've
share
only
that.
got
Yes.
pictures
We've got
and
the
a few
dance
handheld videos, but we'll share.
Okay. Yeah. Exclusive photos coming up with this episode drop.
Just for you guys.
Sweet. We wanted to also hear about your awesome story about your grandma
Yeah.
that you shared
So
with us earlier, but we want to share it with the world.
of course, yeah. So my nanny, she unfortunately passed away last March. But after the wedding, my mum had told her, and then my baby's reaction was like, that's fine. It's the way she is. You can't, stop that. So we'd after the wedding, we would video call Bibi often. Bibi lived in India, sorry, and we would often video call. And then once I was talking to Bibi on the phone, and she was like, "Teri boti kidda?" about Joshna, and I was like, "Oh my god, my mom's never said that." And Bibi's in her 80s, she's so cool, so accepting, just a trailblazer in that way.
So just to give context of what you're saying, your grandma, your Bibi said, she was pretty much asking how your wife is.
Boti. Sorry, yes,
Yeah.
boti means wife. Yeah, in Punjabi. So
I had to learn that word too. But yes.
Yeah.
So then I would come onto the video call, and she would just blow me kisses, and you just got mwah, mwah. She was just so cute.
Yeah, really accepting.
And we spoke to each other in Hindi, so I can manage with my Hindi.
Yeah. I think we're so fearful of the older generation, especially I can't picture my nanny doing that, but you never know because we've built it in our head 100% they can be like, what are you talking about, you crazy, what you doing? So then to hear that your grandma blowing kisses and being like, how's your wife,
definitely. I definitely agree with that. And as a physio working in Surrey, a lot of elderly Punjabi patients I have, and I'm not always, I don't tell them about my personal life, and I still hesitate with them. I see patients in their 70s, 80s that remind me of my grandparents, and I'm like, I don't want to tell them anything, because I don't know how they're going to react, and I totally get that. Yeah, Sharon, definitely relate to that.
I think it's so amazing that you guys live in Surrey too, because on a side note, what made you choose Surrey? Because, you know, when queer folks, they always feel that they can be free and out and about. Like, I feel that, like, on the drive, Davie, downtown van. But in Surrey, I'm very aware of my surroundings. I'm very like, oh, like, are they, like, yeah,
Just
I
a
don't
bit
know.
more cautious, right?
You're very
Because
cautious.
you're
This
just
is
surrounded
all
by brown people.
brown people.
Yeah.
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 I think Surrey was for me closer to work and closer to the Gurdwara, and just closer to kind of the Sikhi life as well. So yeah, it would have been, you know, nice in terms of us being more free out of Surrey, but you know, I wanted to be close to the Gurdwara that are here and that kind of scene as well. So yeah,
I think we do feel comfortable. If we're walking, we will be holding hands, and you know we're okay with that. We'll think if people look, that's fine. We can't control what people are thinking, and you know, no one's come up to us and said, "Oh, why are you holding hands?" Or, yeah, exactly.
What are you doing? Right?
exactly.
Yeah, generally, people let you get on with your business. I think.
I guess with the age gap, they might think, you know.
Oh, now.
Oh, snap.
Shots fired.
Well,
Whoa.
actually, no, I have had 2 incidences where people have asked me if I'm Angit's mum,
Oh gosh.
and
Which nothing. You do not look like that at all. What are they talking about?
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. So
that was tough actually, because initially when we met, I was quite conscious of our age difference, not between us, like Angit said, but just what other people might think or say, and then when the first incident happened where someone said, "Oh, are you Angit's mom?" and I just crashed inside. I thought, oh my gosh, you know, I never thought about how old I looked or didn't look. I just was me. But so that was really, really upsetting. But
I think when that happened, I was like a bit shocked at your reaction. It was
I
before we
was
got
really
married.
upset.
And I was like, oh my God, shall we just like break up? And like, is this going to be an issue for the rest of our lives? Like, you know, and you really, it was really upsetting. And then we kind of talked it through, and it's like, you know, who cares what other people think? They're
People
always going to
always
think.
talk.
Yeah.
If you're the same age, they'll find something else.
Exactly. Yeah. So
Right.
now I'm expecting, having had those comments, I'm thinking it's okay. I can handle other negative comments, or you know, focus on the positive comments, which far, far, far outweigh any negative comments or support we've had. So try and focus on that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's a good way of thinking of it, of course, right? Positivity.
Definitely.
Chin up.
Chin up, exactly.
I think, Angit, now we wanted to talk about living in Surrey. You said you want to be close to your Sikhi roots. And, like, even meeting you, for me, was, like, also eye-opening. I'm Sikh Punjabi as well, but I went to Khalsa school, never thought that I would meet someone who's a visible core and openly queer. So how has that been for you navigating your Sikhi and your queerness?
It's been at the same time really challenging, but really helpful. So I haven't been wearing a dastard all my life. I only started wearing a dastard in 2015. So it's, and that's after I came out to myself and after I came out to my siblings. And I remember coming out to my brother, and one of the first things that he said, and I always remember, he said, "Don't lose your Sikhi over it." So you've come out. I'm really happy for you, but don't feel like you can't be Sikh and you can't be gay, like be queer. So that was a thing that stuck with me since then. So yeah, I started wearing it at the start because I felt it connected me spiritually more to my roots, and it's really helped me with my LGBTQ journey. I feel like it's just connected me more. It's made me more confident in myself. It's made me accept myself a bit more. So wearing it at the start has actually helped me. I guess for me, I can be queer and Sikh. There's no limitations there. There's nothing in the Gurbani that says you cannot, be queer. You cannot marry the same sex. So there's nothing written there. For me, the difficult thing has been navigating kind of, I guess, sangat and finding the right sangat and whether they would accept me. So we recently went back to the UK in November, and that was the first time I shared with some of my close friends that I've been growing up with at the Gurdwara for the last kind of 10 years in London. So I've been friends with these guys since the Gurdwara opened there that I go to, and just telling them, they were so accepting. And then at the Gurdwara, Mum's been telling all her auntie friends and my daughter's just got married, she's married another woman. And they're like, oh, and some people are saying, everyone has said congratulations. No one has.
And I've met some of them as well at the Gurdwara, and while we were doing seva in the kitchen, and it felt comfortable anyway. So
Wow,
Yeah.
that's really cool.
Yeah, so it's been really, it's been shocking because,
Yeah.
you just don't expect it to happen, right? And but hearing those kind of replies, it's just been so reassuring. You know, you just feel so warm inside. It's just like, yeah, it validates everything a bit more.
Yeah. And I think just like wanting to plug in the documentary Sab Rab De Bande when by Sukhdeep Singh, and he's a film producer in India, but he was one of the first folks to wear the pride turban in a pride festival, I think maybe in India, and I was like, wow, like that takes so much guts. And to make a documentary film with Sikhs in Punjab sharing how they're reclaiming their Sikhi and their queerness, and they want to be one, because I think with queer folks we always feel that we have to choose one or the other because like our religion is conservative, whatever. But it's like more like the people, the cultural aspect of it. So I'm kind of on the same journey. I'm not a visible core, but I do like listening to like Simran. I like, you know, I went to Khalsa school. I know Pahat and stuff. So I want to play tabla with you one day. You know,
We're gonna jam one day,
we're
aren't
gonna
we?
jam. So I think it's so important for folks to know that you don't have to choose one or the other, and it can be yours. So like seeing me, learning about Sarbat in UK, that whole organization for Punjabi Sikhs, visible cores and things was like really like, wow, this is a real thing.
yeah, and I think being Hindu as well, it's not been an issue for me. I, kind of choose the philosophies that I connect with. So whether it's Jain philosophy or Sikhism or Hindu philosophies, there's amazing, beautiful things, Buddhist philosophies, and so I kind of connect with different things and follow that, and it's not been an issue. And there are in the scriptures they talk about the third gender, masculine energy, feminine energy. So there's a lot about that in the ancient scriptures anyway. And people have written about these things, so that hasn't been an issue for me personally. But yeah, there are support organizations out there anyway.
It's good for people to know that these organizations do exist, and you just type in your religion and like queer in front of it, I'm sure so many things would pop up.
Exactly.
And like you said, it is more kind of cultural, I feel. It's just the Punjabi culture which dominates that, where it's very I guess homophobic, we can say. Very
But I mean,
homophobic.
things are changing, right?
They're
definitely
I feel,
changing,
and I think with social media in general, right? It's bringing out, and it's bringing out like everybody sharing their stories, like we are right now too, right?
Exactly.
So, and I know you guys have your guys' Instagram.
Yes.
I feel like I'm gonna maybe mispronounce it, but Sukarsu?
So it's Sukarsu.
Sukarsu, yeah. I just totally whiteified it.
I was like, girl, what you doing?
Sukarsu.
Yeah. Sukarsu. There we go. Now we're on it. And you guys are sharing your, there's so much. What was the inspiration behind it? We want to give our audience a bit of background on that. I've seen it. You guys just started it as well. So amazing and awesome that you guys are putting your guys' story out there and sharing with the world. But give us a bit more context behind that.
Yeah, so Sukarsu, I actually the first post I made was in 2018, but we hadn't shown our faces then. But the first post was actually about being queer and religious, and just how, I feel that that I can be both. But we started posting pictures of ourselves just a few months ago at our second wedding anniversary. But Sukarsu is really a place for us to share like our LGBTQ story, to have that representation of just two brown women, and what we've accomplished, and what that we, just to give other people hope, I guess, that they can we're married, so can you if you want to, and just
Which it is, because you've said people have reached out to you. Can you share about that?
Yeah, we've had a few private messages to us from people in other parts of the world actually, and just saying thank you for being visible, and then sharing their stories, and asking for not advice as such, because we can only share our journey, but encouraging each other, and that it's things are possible, challenges will be there, but how we overcame them. So it seems to be helping others, and we are getting quite a few private messages through.
Yeah, we've got a few DMs saying that I'm going through the same journey. I hope to be where you are. I've had a few Sikh women who wear the stars and turbans too, just reaching out and saying, thank you for the representation, because there's no one out there who's like a Sikh woman wearing a dastard who's queer. So that's been really reassuring, and it's wanting us to share our journey more. Because I guess growing up, like, I didn't have any other queer Sikh turban wearing role models. My only one was Sikh Knowledge, the musician from Toronto.
Shout out to Sikh Knowledge.
Woo. great, yeah, beautiful music, just so open. He's just so confident, and he was the only kind of queer Sikh that I knew growing up. So yeah, we're hoping with Sukarsu it will help other people, and not just the younger generation, but people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, at any stage in their life who are coming out or need that representation.
I came out in my early 30s, and looking back, there's many signs from before that anyway. But so finding love in your 30s, 40s, I think there's no barriers. So we're hoping that'll come across as well. And the word Sukar, so it was just a random name we came up with. Well, not completely random, but it means in Gujarati, it means what will we do, what shall we do,
or what to do,
what to do.
What to do.
That's it.
We're queer. What to do?
What to
do?
Share our love
There's
story.
nothing to do.
Exactly.
Nice.
Just to reassure, I know it's definitely making impact. Like, me and Neri look at it all the time.
100%. Yeah.
And are like, oh my God, this is so cute. Can we share it? And we try to share it every day
100%.
for y'all to go viral.
Thank you.
Which you will, because again, like you said, a core representation, and then again the age. Because there's not a lot of people like that we can see, especially here in Surrey or in Vancouver, queer sharing their love stories. We found that's why we wanted actually to start this podcast, because we're like, where are the Vancouver folks at?
Yeah.
Where are you at?
Yeah, totally. Because I don't think there is a lot of representation in I mean, especially in queer South Asian folk, right? So again, also bringing your guys' story out, like Jag's story, to see there's actually visibility, right, is really nice to see. And we're really grateful, and we will also continue sharing your guys' story.
Thank you.
And and hopefully there's more people out there that obviously there are people out there that are feeling connected with you guys and messaging you guys for that. So I know you guys have a pretty decent following, which is awesome, and I'm sure you'll build more being on Sher Van Podcast.
Ooh, we definitely will. We're going to be in them thousands now.
You're welcome.
I'm like, I'm pretty sure we're not there. That's okay too.
Exactly. Yes.
Sooner than later. Don't worry. We're gonna switch over to. I'm having a mind fart right now, so that's okay.
All good. Maybe you can chat about the London scene.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, Anu. We're just, the usual. Me having a brain fart, but we wanted to talk about also, the London scene out there with the queer scene. How did you guys feel about that out there? Like, how did you guys navigate that? I know there's Sarbet out there, but were you guys able to connect with them? And what was your experience, if you guys have?
Yeah, I guess for me, I came out to myself when I was 18, and Sarbet was the first organization that I connected with, and I connected with them via events. They had an online discussion forum, which was really great, and I managed to kind of with a few other women in the organization organize a meetup for women. So there were only 3 of us turned up for a coffee meetup, but it was the start of something. And I think since in the last couple of years they've really been doing well with meetups and a lot of content online.
So that's cool. You were part of the initial,
and then a few other women kind of took it to another level, and it was really they've done such a good job with the queer content, queer Sikh meetups, and that was the main one that was there for me. I think for you it was a bit different.
I think for me it was a bit different. I came out to myself. I think I realized when I was in a nightclub, Club Kali. I used to
heard all about it.
It's been going for 26 years, and I was going there before I knew about myself. Just because it was a safe place. I loved dancing with the Indian drag queens. It was a fabulous place, But that's where I realized about myself, and then a journey kind of started about self-discovery and what are these feelings I'm feeling. where can I go, who can I speak to, and I actually mentioned it to my family physician, my GP there, and he was a Gujarati GP, young man, and he mentioned to me something called lesbian Krishnas. I don't think it exists anymore, but rather than kind of just straight away saying, "Oh, go for counselling," or this or that, he actually gave me something practical to look at. And
What? How
I
cool is
know.
your GP?
Yeah.
Really
I
cool
know,
GP,
he was
yeah.
brilliant.
That's
So I went onto that group, and there were people from around the world just sharing, their thoughts and challenges. So that was one aspect. And then there were other social groups as well, of where to meet people in London, not dating necessarily, but social groups. So there was one called Ginger Beer, and so there were a few
I love all these
things
Oh.
like that.
Ginger
Yeah.
beer.
Ginger
Yeah,
beer.
that was a good one.
It was a bit like meetup.com, but it was specifically for women.
Right.
So there were those positive things. I did have challenges as well, and met difficult personalities, but it was all part of a learning journey for myself. And so it wasn't as difficult in that sense. And whoever I did come out to was very supportive to me. And if they weren't, then I don't necessarily need to have them in my direct kind of interactions anyway. So
Yeah.
it was overall positive, but some not so fun bits too.
Yeah, I found like I lived in London for about a year and a half myself, and I felt like the community out there was a bit more conservative, I guess you can say. Like people would like ask like, what band are you from, or like, what's your caste, and I was just kind of really
Really?
taken aback. So, and it happened often enough that I that's why I'm asking, how did you guys navigate your queerness when you guys were in London, or in England or whatnot? But yeah, I just found it was like I kind of was taken back because I'm like, people don't ask me that in Vancouver, like really ever. But yeah, I was really taken back by it. Like, what the heck? Why are they asking me this? Is so weird.
Yeah.
Like, also, what's it to you? You know what I mean? Like,
that's true.
I felt really, I don't know, it was just weird.
I wasn't too open in our community, I suppose. I went for functions, and that didn't really come up, I guess. So I didn't speak about that. But people did ask me, after I was divorced from my first marriage, and like, oh, do you want to get married again? And we've got so and so. So you get rishtas whether 30s or. People are ready for that. So that was uncomfortable because I didn't know what to say. I'd just say, no, I don't want to get married, or, that sort of thing. Because by then I knew that I didn't want to be with, be married to a man, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry, can I just pop a bit more?
Pani pila patta?
Yes.
Water break.
Good enough, yeah.
Got a tickle.
It happens.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and we're back at it. So what I'm hearing is we're all grateful for Sher Vancouver because we
100%.
found it.
Yes.
Because I think Neri and I, we joined 2020,
Yeah.
and we were like, what? There's this organization? Because I felt like in the earlier stages when I was navigating my sexuality, I had to go clubbing, or like that was the only scene.
Yeah.
And the scene here in Vancouver, no hate, but was very cliquey and very like asking all these like very like questions that I was like, I don't know. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think like Sher Vancouver is really saving lives in a way because there's a space that you can go to. There's a support group. And like shout out to Alex as we do. Give him shout outs.
Oh, yes.
Definitely.
Because there's so much going on within Sher
Yeah.
Vancouver.
Yeah, but
I
that's also-
remember, like, in 2016, I had come to Vancouver for 10 days to do an exam, and I had emailed Alex at that time in 2016, and I was like, oh, I want to know about Sher Vancouver, and he's like, yeah, just come round, and we'll have a chat. And at that time, I didn't go around because I was like, who's this guy telling me to come to his house? I was like, no.
Right, that to me too. I
Sounds
was
a
like,
bit
oh,
dodgy.
no.
So I didn't go to his house in 2016, but I connected with Sher Vancouver in 2018 when I came to Canada, and I came to a meetup with run by Jag, her wife. Jaya was there,
Oh,
and
shout out to
another woman.
Jag. Okay, we were talking about finding Sher Vancouver and how it's been a healing and savior for all of us. Would love to share your roles with Sher Vancouver, and for folks listening, Emergence Film, following the lives of 3 queer South Asians here in Surrey. How has that been presenting in schools?
I've presented 2. So one was in a high school and one at university. So they were both very different experiences. But either one, I think even if the response isn't, kind of, if people aren't interactive enough, I know that the kids were listening. There were about 70 to 80 children. So that was a big, there were 2 classes that had come together.
I think that's the one that we did together.
We did
as well,
together,
so-
actually. So
Yeah.
we were hoping that, seeing us both together, and we did openly say, this is my wife, and even hearing that at that age, hopefully they had a seed planted that actually it's okay, and wow, we've seen 2 women. There were a few questions, but not as many as we thought. But we presented, we got a little bit of a discussion going. But at the other one was at KPU in Richmond, and that was really good. The discussion was amazing. A very small group, but really good questions, and I was really, I felt it felt good being part of the outreach team, knowing that we're making a difference and that the film is really having a huge impact on everyone.
Yeah, I just feel really honoured to be representing Sher Vancouver in this
Yes.
documentary, and just everything that it is, everything that it represents is just amazing. We've watched the documentary like 5 or 6 times already, and
100%.
we
That
just
sounds like Sher.
we do not get bored of it. And
Yeah.
it's just every time it just brings us to tears, and
Yeah.
it's just so amazing to share it with the kids, because as a teenager I would love to have seen this documentary.
I think being new to Canada as well, I think for me to be part of this so soon, it feels really nice that there's a community there, and I can gradually become more of a part of it as well.
You guys are so welcoming.
Thank
You
you.
Canadians.
Try.
We're living up to the stereotype, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. Thank you for sharing that. Even I got the chance to do a screening with Jag at KPU, the Surrey one, and I was super nervous. I was like, oh my God. But then, I was like, I'm with Jag. She's in the film.
She's a
So we
star.
good.
The star
But
of the
yeah,
film. Yeah.
I think that it really depends on the discussion. They weren't really talking, and I get it. I'm teacher vibes. I know how to get them to talk. But I also understand if I were in high school and I had queer folks come and I was maybe questioning, I wouldn't say anything. I'd just be taking it all in and then low key messaging maybe afterwards or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I think the one that we did in Surrey, where we had 70, 80 children there, you could see some kids were smiling and really engaging, but not really engaging in conversation, because they were just a bit shy maybe, and
Yeah.
predominantly it was brown students, and I don't know how that is in Surrey. I'm guessing kids in school are quite conservative with their parents and not really talking about kind of LGBTQ
Yeah.
issues. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's just still, again, there's that fear that just holding back, right? So I mean it's I don't know where I'm going with that in my head, but yeah, I think there's still a lot of fear for sure.
Yeah,
And
but the
being held back.
evaluation forms actually, highlighted a few things, because I guess people feel more comfortable writing anonymously, and it was nice to read the feedback that a lot of them did appreciate the film and what we discussed. So
Nice.
there's always positive somewhere.
Yeah, 100%. Well, it's good that you guys are doing some awesome work. So we appreciate it.
Thank you.
This is going to be totally off topic from what we are just talking about emergence, but we are going to ask is what drew you guys to each other? What were your qualities? Some of the qualities you guys were looking for, or kind of drew you guys into each other?
I think for me, at the time, like Angit said, I'd been single for a long time. I wasn't looking for anyone. So at the time, it was just that spark, that attraction that somehow happened. But in terms of qualities, I'm still, being attracted to new qualities, because we've been together just under 5 years and still kind of learning new things. And I just love how she surprises me with things, So while we were dating, I would go to the car park at work, and there's a little note on my windscreen, just a little something or the other, and oh, that's nice. Or she'll slip a little note into my locker. So she's
Yeah,
quite
yeah,
she's a
romantic.
cutie. Yes.
Cutie pie.
We sent you
So
sometimes.
romantic.
Yeah, she's an amazing cook, her singing's great, guitar, so tabla, sometimes she plays tabla and I'll dance along.
So she checked off all the boxes.
Yes.
All the boxes.
Lots and lots of qualities. I think we just get on well, and you kind of know. And of course, living with someone new, there's always going to be things that you don't know about each other, and that's where we had to get used to living with each other, but it was fine,
It's a lifelong
Yeah.
journey, right? Figuring things out.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
even like our parents are probably still doing that to this day.
Oh,
or,
yeah.
So. And
Exactly.
even like Sharon and I, we're always learning about each other too, right?
Mhm.
Exactly. And that's quite exciting. And, what else am I going to learn, So.
Yeah, I think for me, just how Joshna was so accepting of everything of me. Like, I think when at the start, I was very scared about, oh, if I meet a woman, will she accept me? Will she ask me to take my dastard off? And like, so she was, the fact that Joshna was so accepting of me, of everything that, I don't remove my body hair, I wear a dastard, and like just these little things that just matter for me. So that was really nice.
I love that pic that you posted on Sukarsu. It was like Joshna holding like the pug, and you're like,
Oh, yes.
Yes, yes.
she was like helping you tie it, or
Yeah, so like helping me dry it out,
Dry it
and
out,
when
yeah.
I wash it. So she's
Oh, it's
my-
fun, actually. I didn't realize quite how long it was, but yeah, it's
But in a Sikh family, it's like a thing, isn't it? Like it's just like a weekly thing you do, like a tradition, like washing your bugs. It's just
Yeah.
like it's like therapeutic, washing them, drying them, opening them up, and like just folding it together. It's like a little routine we do once a week, so it's nice. Yeah.
I enjoy arranging her pugs in the closet in a rainbow color format.
Oh my god!
I don't do. Huh?
Can you do a Pride turban? Like, how Sikh Deep I was telling you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Can you do one once Pride is back? That'd be so
My dad
cool.
wore one for a marathon.
What?
Yeah, I shared it on Sukar's story. So my dad ran a marathon in Cyprus, and he had a rainbow bug on, so that was pretty cool. So
That's so awesome.
Can we also invite your dad when we invite Alex's mom? Jake's mom.
Jake's mom, yeah, everybody.
The parents,
roundtable
yeah.
discussion.
Exactly.
Oh my god, so cool.
yeah.
I think we are sort of so like taking it all in that we're all here today. And I remember we have a WhatsApp group called Let's Make Her Story, and we were just wanted to just take this in that us four sitting here in Surrey, in a library, sharing our stories is so powerful, and just wanted to go around, maybe share some things we're grateful for before we end off. And if I start, I would just like to say, like, I'm so grateful to be in this space with you three powerful women because, for myself 3 years ago, I remember, like, crying in the shower, being like, maybe I could just marry a guy and just have this all be over. And to be where I am today is so big for me, my own personal journey. So I'd just like to say thank you to you two for sharing your story. And thank you for Neri for being with me on this journey for this podcast.
Amazing.
Yeah, I love doing gratitudes. Always. I always love asking folks that, what you're grateful for. And I mean, I second what Sharon says too. Like, I'm just grateful to be in this room with you amazing folks. And yeah, bringing to the forefront, like, what we're able to, what we're doing right now. Like, who would have thought? I would have never thought, like, 2 years ago or a year ago or even whenever that I'd be here right now. And so I'm just grateful that I have Sharon, like, on this journey. Just bringing all these great people to the forefront and our stories, and you amazing ladies, sharing your story right now. So I'm really grateful that we're doing the work that we are.
Definitely,
It's such a healing journey.
Definitely. Thank you guys for having us. Yeah, I'm really grateful to be here. Have found Sher Vancouver when I came to Canada. I'm just grateful that we can be who we want to be and in the country that we live in, and we have the privilege to, to show our love, affection. I have the privilege to get married, the privilege to hold hands in public. A lot of people don't have in other countries, so that's what I'm really grateful for.
And I'm grateful for quite a lot, but I think particularly I'm grateful for my past self for having overcome so many hurdles and challenges. They were very, very dark times as well, but for managing to somehow get through those with support or by myself and getting to the stage where I am, married to a wonderful woman, and it sometimes kind of takes me by surprise that, oh my gosh, am I really here? How did I get here? But I'm grateful to my past self for kind of enduring that and coming through.
Awesome. Are we all tearing up, or are we tearing up?
Tearing up. I need a tissue. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, thank you. And for those of the folks that are listening that aren't aware of your guys' Instagram, would you guys be, I mean, I'm going to start over again. Would you guys be willing to share? I'm going to start over again. Can you please share your handles for that?
Sure, yeah. So it's Sukarsu. It's SUKARSUU, Sukarsu. But if you type in our names as well, it should come up, Joshna and Angit, in the Instagram search.
Sweet. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story. Yeah. So we're going to pretty much wrap up. Thank you guys for coming through and sharing everything. And I'm feeling very loopy right now, so we're gonna start again, do that again. So, I'm gonna take a deep breath.
Take a deep breath.
Sorry, Anu. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you guys for coming out today and sharing your stories. If you guys can share with the world your guys' Instagram handle, so people can follow you, and also share your guys' amazing photos, stories, please.
Yeah, so our Instagram handle is Sukarsu. That's SUKARSUU. But you can probably search us on Instagram with our names as well. So Joshna and Angit. And we'll continue to share our pictures. And we've given Sher Podcast a few exclusive pictures to share from our wedding. So that would be nice to see as well. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you
you
to
so
both,
much.
to you both as well for inviting us.
And
It's
well
been
done to you
lovely,
both. Like, you made this
honestly,
podcast an amazing thing. I'm so excited to see what happens going forwards. Beautiful people.
Aw, thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Yes.